Deepfakes here in Singapore have jumped 5 times in the last year alone. Now, that is according to a report by fraud prevention firm Sumsub. Authorities have been warning that deepfakes could be misused to commit cybercrimes. Nadirah Zaidi tells us how accessible the technology has become.
Where do you want me to put this?
Just clip it anyway. Yeah.
I'm used to speaking in front of the camera.
Hi, my name is Nadirah, and I'm actually here to learn more about generative AI.
But I was not prepared for what happened next. The AI software quickly learned my speech patterns to generate this.
Hey Nadirah, your instant avatar is ready. Feel free to create videos with it. Also, click the feedback button to share what you think. Hope you enjoy.
With this, I can put words in my mouth, quite literally. So I'm writing the AI a script, pretending to be a marketing professional looking to hire people for my company. It takes just another click of a button for my deepfake avatar to speak a language I don't.
Hi, 我叫纳迪拉，我是一名营销专家，希望为我的公司雇佣5名新员工。您的技能符合我们的需求。
Oh my god. Okay.
Too easy to use and misuse.
The scammers can also use it to their advantage. And if you think about the fact that we are now talking about all crimes, but new techniques. So if I was a scammer, I would use GenAI to create a fake job post, and then I take someone else's LinkedIn information and I do phishing, so I will target the person, and I can use the technology to create a fake looking HR manager so that the victim would think that he or she is communicating with a real person.
I learned from Kevin that these tools are also getting more sophisticated, making it easier than ever to create deepfakes, which makes me think that perhaps seeing is no longer believing.
And joining us tonight with more insights is Professor Mohan Kankankali. He's Dean of US School of Computing and Deputy Executive Chairman of AI Singapore. Now, we just heard that quick explanation of what can happen if you use AI for impersonation and scamming. Now, we are continually looking at regulations to check the various ways in which AI can be used and abused. In the instance of impersonation and scamming, can we fine-tune regulations so that they're better able to address this particular problem?
I think that's a great question. And in fact, what we saw just now is just, I think, beginning of an epidemic. What generative AI has done is really democratized creation of deepfakes. And we are only going to see increasing volume and increasing speed of deepfakes. And definitely the regulation has to keep up with that. Now, there are effectively 2 approaches to doing the regulation. One is minimizing harm, and the other is a risk-based approach. So in a risk-based approach, I think this is what many of the European countries are trying to do, is trying to understand what are the risks posed by different types of deepfakes, and then regulate at 2 levels. At an individual level, that means the creator of the deepfake and what are the kind of penalties must have been imposed on them, and at a platform level, that people who knowingly share, or platforms or companies which knowingly share such content, they need to act in case they are notified. And I think the regulation is moving in this direction. On a more stronger regulation, I think some of the countries are going right down to the creation software. So China is having new regulatory where companies need to disclose their software, which is used for creating deepfakes, and also, for example, recommendation algorithms.
So regulation at the individual level and at the platform level, but there are going to be challenges in actually nabbing those who commit these crimes with deepfakes. How challenging is it going to be to actually sort of pinpoint who they are?
Yeah, I think it is going to be extremely challenging. When the first generation of deepfakes came out, they were actually fairly easy to detect because, for example, the eyes did not blink. But once the scammers knew that this was the case, they actually improved the software so that they introduced blinking. And now generative AI is becoming better and better. In fact, for text, using ChatGPT, you can create any stories. For images, it is becoming pretty good, though, for example, still some of these generative AI software like Stable Diffusion, they will get the human anatomy wrong, some of the signage, so you can create, for example, a fake tsunami in London. Some of the street signs will be wrong, so you can easily spot them. But they're just improving with time. And I think what regulators need to do is to understand the technology. And I think in Singapore, I think IMDA is very much involved in a lot of the AI activities, and they're very much aware of what is going on. So I think technologists have to work with regulators and work together. However, I think in the long run, I think it is going to be a cat and a mouse game where always regulation will be chasing technology. In the long run, we therefore have to look at education, educating people about the risks of seeing and believing, the risks of creating such software and making people responsible and ethical about the usage of such software.
All right, well, before we go further, let's take a look at the increasing interest in generative AI, which is gaining fans among Singapore's business community.
A survey by data privacy research firm Straits Interactive shows that about 2 in 3 SMEs are either using or planning to use it to generate text, documents, as well as videos. But Nadirah Zaidi finds out that doing this could put firms at greater risk.
Using generative AI to build websites and write proposals has helped this software firm improve productivity by almost 50%.
Our junior executives use ChatGPT to generate proposals, generate reports for our clients. Previously, we had to check their work, but right now there's much less checking because the grammar is taken care of. They just have to put in the facts, put in the figures, and that is very easy for them. And that saves us a lot of time.
Another firm is relying on AI for their education technology business. Users can feed the software content and generate test questions.
We empower educators to very easily create these AI tutors without any code, simply by dropping in their content, with their curated content. As a result, their students will be able to chat with these AI tutors who already have all the knowledge that the teacher has.
But while there are pros to using AI, privacy breaches are not uncommon. Your contact details, usage patterns, device information, and location can be exposed.
Some companies are putting, let's say, their HR policies. They are putting in some of their legal stuff inside to try to get the AI to re-summarize or recategorize or rewrite some parts of it. And you may have to deal with copyright issues or personal data issues.
That's especially since most firms rely on open source data, where the source code is freely available and can be redistributed or modified by anyone. To reduce cybersecurity risks, SMEs say they're taking precautionary measures, such as limiting the information that they upload.
I write very generally my prompt. I do not say who I am. I just say that perhaps I'm the president of such organization, writing something to another organization, and these are my points.
Any content that our customers put into the platform is always containerized, and it's never used to train any large language model or any AI model that is not used by the institution.
Even then, SMEs aren't always sure if what they're doing is the right thing. They add that there's a need to put in place policies and govern the use of AI in smaller firms.
Yeah, I know there are safeguards with digital, but sometimes when we're talking about generative AI, it sounds like we're describing, a leaky ship when it comes to cybersecurity. It can be that difficult to keep up with the bad actors, as it were. Prof. Mohan, when it comes to firms, sometimes they unknowingly are helping criminals. How can they actually counter that so that that sort of exposure to data leaks, to privacy leaks is minimized?
I think, first of all, I think the firms need to understand this new animal in town, which is generative AI. It can be a fantastic productivity tool, but there are risks involved, as we heard just now. Having said that, I think one of the good things about our PDPC is they have a suite of tools and guides available, which I think small companies and SMEs can make use of it. There are two ways of countering it. One is to have policies within the firm on how usage can be done. So if you're using for summarizing documents or creating documents or analyzing documents or creating code, you should make sure that sensitive information is never used on a public model, which is like ChatGPT or some others. But you can, if you can afford it, you can have a small private model for which the data never goes out of the firm.
Mm. All right, we never get very far away from the job market when it comes to talk about the Singapore economy. Let's take a look at some figures now that show how rising interest and adoption of AI is having an impact, as one would expect, on the job market. Reports suggest Singapore becoming the fastest growing market for artificial intelligence talent in the Asia-Pacific, outpacing countries like India and Japan. According to job portal Indeed, 1 in nearly 500 new job postings now is related to generative AI. That's almost 5 times higher than just 4 months ago. Some of the fastest growing roles are algorithm engineers and data science specialists. They are responsible for designing and improving AI applications. But there is a skills gap when it comes to hiring. These job roles typically need people who have knowledge in data science, web development, and digital marketing. Back to you, Prof. Mohan. Looking at these numbers, will this AI boom mean increased competition for talents within the tech sector?
Absolutely. I think there is a huge demand for talent right now. But there are mitigating factors. For example, at NUS School of Computing, we have more than tripled our undergraduate intake over the last 6 years. And therefore, the supply side is increasing. In fact, we at AI Singapore, where I also, which I also represent, we have a very popular AI apprentice program, which creates talent. And in fact, people from different backgrounds can come and become a professional in the AI field. Our master's program at NUS also, there is a general track conversion program where people can take advantage of these jobs. In the long run, Singapore has a smaller talent pool. We are a small country, but I feel that AI can help us. Let me explain. Generative AI, especially for developing software, can be a tremendous tool. And for somebody who is well-versed in using generative AI to create code, it can actually dramatically increase the productivity. And therefore, in certain sense, some of the AI shortage hopefully can be alleviated by AI by improving the productivity of our talent.
There are many opportunities for engineers, and we're moving also into a space in the future where we may not see so much coding necessary. Data engineers can actually use sort of systems as well, new technology, as it were, so that we're not so reliant just on people. But if we wanted to grow that talent pool in Singapore, what would be the biggest thing that we need to do, the first step to that?
I think we are already doing that. We are introducing various programs, continuing education programs, master's programs, conversion programs, which enable people who have the right mathematical, logical skills, not necessarily computing skills, in order to transition into this sector. So I would see that once there is a big demand for such roles, more and more people will be encouraged to take advantage of these programs for lifelong learning programs and become, kind of, in a sense, make themselves proficient so that they are attractive to the new economy.
All right. Thank you very much, Professor Mohan Kankanhali there, Provost Chair, Professor of Computer Science at NUS and Deputy Executive Chairman of AI Singapore. Thank you very much.
Thank you for coming this evening.